Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another video for StencilGirl Products, and this month the theme is masks. So inspired by that, we're just going to be creating a journal page. And we've pulled out some stencils from StencilGirl here from our stash. These are relatively newer ones, and we'll be using these, using the mask of the butterfly stencil as well as the butterfly and a nice background stencil. So to change things up, we decided it would be a good idea to use a black journal book today and create on a black page, but something not as shimmery as our previous pages here, something more subtle, and let's see how that goes. So just placing a scrap piece of paper underneath so that all the rest of the pages don't get dirty and messy. The first thing is to use some masking tape. So we're taking our theme masks very literal and using masking tape and creating a layer down on our page. Now let's coat the page with a layer of matte medium that will prime the page and give it a nice base layer. Now I will begin adding my paint layers, and here I have some Dina Wakley paints, carnation, heather, magenta and a turquoise color. That's the combination that I want to use today for my page, and I'll begin with the carnation. So I'm directly just using the brayer and adding color, and it's going to be very random, and I'm going to use heather as well before I begin using the stencil. Now with the paint still wet, I'm going to go in with my larger stencil and use a wet wipe and gently move it around. So I'm just going to pick some color on my wet wipe and add that through the stencil. I'm going to now dry this before I begin adding more color. Now I'm going to use the same stencil but with magenta to bring in that darker tone. Now with using a little more magenta, gently I'm going to go in again with the brayer, just lightly on the edges to define my masking tape down below. Very subtly, very gently, not too much. And same way, I'm now going to bring in my turquoise for another color, and this will just make everything pop out. So now using the same turquoise, let's go in with our smaller abstract background pattern and change it up a little bit in terms of its orientation. And that is a really effective way to add some stencil layers and create a nice background for the journal page. Just for a slight darker tone, I'm going to take a tinge of the ocean here and go back in with the same geometric stencil. So you can see how we're basically using different stencil layers masking on top of one another, layering it and getting some cool shadow effect. I really like how it all pops up. Now I'm just going to go in with a touch of lemon again with the brayer, just a little bit, because that contrast really adds an element of pop. Now for the focal, I would like to create this butterfly here. And what I'm going to do is first use the mask onto some white cardstock and the lightest pink, which is carnation. And just create a tinted background for my butterfly. Now using my butterfly stencil, I can lay it on top of this and just add this lovely texture, for which I'm going to use a little bit of the turquoise and a little bit of the lemon. And I'm just going to add a tad bit of the magenta. And now I'm going to dry it and fussy cut this out. Now here is my cut butterfly, and I've just used the same magenta to sort of add a little shadow on the edges. Time for a little stamping. So here I have 2 stamps from All and Create, and I'm just going to use the number stamp first and heat set it with white embossing powder. So of course it didn't turn out white the way I had expected, because I think I've used Magic Moon pearls, and however you can see it's given me a nice texture and shine, and that's exactly what I wanted for this. So I really like the end result of those stamped numbers, and it just adds some depth and dimension to my page. Now I'm just going to add touches of black stamping with the other stamp. To finish it off, adhere the butterfly with some foam tape and add some sentiments, and that completes this fun journal page. That's a close-up and a look at all those fabulous layers. We really hope that we've been able to inspire you, and do subscribe to the channel, and until the next time, take care and bye-bye.